is the greatest force at the disposal of mankind. It is mightier than the mightiest weapon of destruction devised by the ingenuity of man. Good morning, Headmistress Ma'am, teachers and all my dear friends. I, Divyanka, heartily welcome you to celebrate this momentous day along with us. On 2nd October every year, India celebrates a national holiday in remembrance and honor of the birth of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi as Gandhi Jayanti. Mahatma Gandhi also have the title of Father of India as he took up the path of non-violence to make the nation free from the clutches of the Britishers. Let's start our day by singing the prayer.
वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे। पर दुखे उपकार करे तो ये मन अभिमान वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे।
Mahatma Gandhi dreamt of India which was not only free but also clean and developed. To fulfill our responsibilities and duties, let's take the pledge.
We shall oppose all forms of communalism, casteism, and chauvinism. We shall rise above religion, caste, creed, community, language, or gender, and respect one another on grounds of our common humanity. We will not cooperate with people opposing these values. We shall not support or resort to violence and intolerance under any circumstances, and we will obey the Indian Constitution and laws. We will not take any steps which would harm our country or ruin its reputation. We are proud to be Indians. We shall work for the unity of India and shall dedicate ourselves to the task of making India a great progressive nation. We shall work for promoting harmony, goodwill, and peace in the world. Jai Hind.
Gandhi Jayanti is celebrated to remember Gandhi's principles of peace and non-violence and to inspire and educate the present generation. Let's now hear a beautiful childhood story of Gandhiji and follow the moral values.
Good morning everyone. I am Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. In India, I am known as the father of the nation. I am going to share my life to you as a story today. My father's name is Karamchand and my mother's name is Putli Bai. I was born on 2nd October 1869 in Porbandar, Gujarat. When I was young, I loved watching stage dramas. Harish Chandra play was my favorite. Harish Chandra was a king who was famous for his truthfulness. One day at school, the education inspector came and asked us to write the spelling of kettle. I had done mistake, but my teacher asked me to copy it from my other classmate. I told my teacher that I will accept my mistake, but I will not cheat. I wanted to be truthful and honest always. I was married to Kasturba at the age of 13 and went to London for higher studies. After 3 years, I got my degree and came back to India and started practicing law. After some time, I left to South Africa to work as a lawyer. I was shocked to see the racial discrimination against Indians there. One day when I was on a train to work, a British man told me that he doesn't like a brown person like me to travel with him. I told him that I had the right to travel as I had the ticket, but he threw me out at the next station. Then I realized that if such a thing happens to a lawyer, how badly would common person be treated? I wanted to do something about this, and I organized many meetings and made public speeches. We did non-violent protest for our equal rights. After some success through equal right protest, I returned to India in 1950. British ruled India that time. I learned that lots of taxes were imposed on India. I wanted to change this, so I joined the Indian National Congress Party. I traveled across our country to understand and to serve our people in a better way. In Madurai city, I saw how farmers and poor lived and dressed. My choice of clothing also changed after that. I started making my own simple hand-spun clothes. I did many non-violent protests. Dandi March was a very well known, where we did 24 days march to the sea and made salt. I focused on Satyagraha, which means to holding on truth, the principle of non-violence. I was jailed many times for this, and the people of India called me as Mahatma, which means a person regarded with love and respect. Eventually, India earns its independence in 1947. I died on 30 January 1948. My favorite quote is, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." Rajghat is my resting place in New Delhi. Thank you.
Freedom is dear to all creatures. It cannot be bought by money. It is very expensive. Gandhiji believed in non-violence and peace. He never gave up. He never lose hope. Even when a struggle met with failure, he didn't let go of his belief in non-violence. Let's see the movements launched by Gandhiji towards India's struggle for independence.
Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, or Mahatma Gandhi, was born on 2 October 1869, was an Indian lawyer, anti-colonial nationalist and political activist who employed non-violent resistance to lead the successful campaign for India's independence from British rule. There were several movements launched by Mahatma Gandhi, which includes Champaran, Non-Cooperation Movement, Dandi Movement, and the Quit India Movement. The Champaran agitation in Bihar was Gandhi's first active involvement into India's freedom politics. The Champaran farmers were being tortured and forced to grow indigo. They were also being tortured if they protested. The farmers sought Gandhiji's help, and through a calculated non-violence protest, Gandhi managed to win concessions from the authority. Gandhiji has realized the British had been in India because of the cooperation they received from the Indians. So keeping this in mind, he called for a non-cooperation movement with the Congress support and the indomitable spirit. He convinced people that peaceful non-cooperation was the key to independence. The ominous day of Jallianwala Bagh massacre triggered the non-cooperation movement. Gandhi set the goal of Swaraj, of self-independence, of self-governance, which since they became the motto of Indian freedom movement. Dandi March, or Dandi Satyagraha, was a non-violent protest against the British monopoly on the salt production, which was initiated by the Mahatma Gandhi on March 12, 1930. He led the historical Dandi March from Sabarmati Ashram in Gujarat, Ahmedabad, to the village of Dandi in the state's coastal area. It took him 24 days to reach Dandi. Gandhiji started the movement with 78 volunteers that was later joined by thousands of others on his way. The movement played a significant role in the civil disobedience movement against the salt law or salt tax. During the Second World War, Gandhiji was determined to strike the British Empire with a definite goal that would secure their exit from India. This happened when the British started recruiting Indians for the war. Gandhi protested strongly and said that the Indians cannot be involved in a war that is in favor of democratic purposes. When India itself is not a free country, this argument exposed the two-faced image of the colonizers, and within half of a decade, they were out of the country. The Quit India movement was launched by Gandhiji in 1942.
Of our lives, and there is darkness everywhere, and I do not quite know what to tell you and how to say it. Our beloved leader, Bapu as we called him, the father of the nation, is no more.
Nathuram Vinayak Godse, whose full name was Ramchandra Vinayak Godse, born on 19 May 1910. He was the accession of Gandhiji. This was the saddest day for the whole country. He shot Gandhi in the chest for 3 times at the point blank range in New Delhi at 30 January 1948. Godse was a Hindu nationalist from Pune, Maharashtra, a member for the political party, the Hindu Mahasabha. as well as the former member of the Rashtriya Swayamseva Sangha. He believed Gandhi to have favored the political demands of British India's Muslim during partition of India in 1947. He also disagreed from Gandhi's conviction that Hindu and Muslim should live together with harmony.
Bhajans are the greatest form of worship. Bhajans are sung to show our gratitude and love for God. Singing or listening to devotional songs fills one's heart with joy, peace and contentment. Let's hear Gandhiji's favorite bhajan.